Over the years of working in the music industry, I have collaborated with a lot of music producers, both professional and beginners. I've seen them start their careers and make a big name for themselves. I know both types of producers, those who have become successful and those who have failed. So, I've seen what they did, and I can tell you what actions and decisions can bring you fast results. In this video, I will share information that will save you 5 or, in some cases, even more years of building a career in the music industry. I gathered the things all well-known producers did to build successful careers, as well as the mistakes others made that brought them down. Hello, my name is Ivan. I'm sound engineer at Major Mixing, a company that provides online mixing and mastering services. If you need great sound, feel free to contact us. Now, let's get back to our video. The first principle I'm going to talk about is fundamental to your success. It's a skill to combine fast movement with the Pareto principle, the one that states that 20% of action results in 80% of consequences. Too many times I've seen both producers and artists get stuck on things like looking for sound samples or buying the exact hardware they had in mind. Getting hung up on details is bad enough, but they often choose not the best things to get carried away with. For example, choosing the timbre of the drum. I've seen people spend hours doing this, when that time could have been used more productively. Successful producers can work fast and know what type of action will be the most efficient for them. This concerns not only producers, but successful people in general. You need to understand what will bring you the best results with the least amount of time spent doing it. Then you can do things fast and try new ideas all the time. If something doesn't work out like you imagined it would, you can try different things. Let's say you want to try doing arrangements with live instruments. Once you do 2 to 3 of such tracks, you should quickly understand that it takes a lot of time and effort, and you need to work with experts to do it right. In the end, you may not get great results. If you release these tracks and there's no feedback and you don't get new clients, you should immediately understand that it's not worth it. You might as well have used some loops to make an arrangement and it would have been much faster. Now, you should analyze what brings you results and then focus on doing that only. You should also stay in trend with the industry and realize what's popular right now. Next, you should understand that music is the most important thing. All those technical details are secondary. Many producers get hung up on the best tools to do mixing, like using the trendiest plugins, synth, and whatnot. These things don't matter if your music is bad. All successful producers that I know don't care about these technicalities, and frankly speaking, they don't know how to use a lot of that stuff. They can open the most generic library, open up a synth, go over some presets, make a few clicks, and voila, the masterpiece is ready. They keep what's working for them and delete the rest. There's no point in sticking to synthesizers only and learning all there is to learn about them unless you're a tech geek. But let's be frank, there are not many people who can actually create trendy music just using their tech knowledge. And the ones that can do it properly work as an example for Hans Zimmer. We all know Hans Zimmer, right? He's not a tech geek himself and he doesn't know much about all the nuances of music production. Still, he has tech-savvy people working for him to do all the heavy lifting in the department. That's one way of doing things. But right now, I'm talking about how you can personally save your time and energy without hiring additional staff. That's why you shouldn't focus too much on tech details and simply create great music instead. Just open any DAW you like and use everything you have at hand. Put up a microphone and record some instrument like guitar. Add a few splice sounds and use some synth presets. And that's it. Don't spend too much time working on details. That's a waste of your resources. Next, I want to point out that you shouldn't spend your money on anything. You should become as greedy as possible. It depends on your income, but you should really stop buying expensive synthesizers and mixing plugins because you don't need all these things. If you're going to spend money, then buy access to good libraries. But what you really need is to buy a DAW, a good microphone, and a Splice subscription. You have no idea how many great mixes were done using Splice loops. Recently, Sabrina Carpenter released a hit song that was made using sounds from Splice. I have experience working with artists who could cut samples from Splice in a way that sounded like a symphonic orchestra, and even I couldn't tell the difference. So you always have a choice, either to buy access to libraries with string music or to hire musicians and record everything live. Either way, you'll spend a ton of money, but a talented producer will just take samples from Splice and cut violin here, a cello here, and in the end, he'll get the same result but faster and with fewer resources spent. It may sound 10% worse than the live version, but it'll still sound very good for modern popular music. As a result, he'd spent 99% less time and money to create the same thing. That's why I advise you to stay greedy and only spend money on the basics and see where you can go from there. You should think carefully before you buy anything. For example, you may watch some interviews to see what devices other producers use to create music. Let's say the top 10 music producers in the world are using Serum. So you give it some thought and realize that you can use this device to your advantage. Only then should you buy it. The next thing I want to recommend is to create music daily. Try to develop a habit of recording something every day, no matter what. All professional music producers I know follow this simple rule. Even if you don't have clients and you're not feeling the inspiration, you should still sit down and do something. If you don't have the slightest idea about what to make, then take the most absurd concept imaginable and simply try to bring it to life. This will allow you to get into the zone and create something new all the time. After a year of work, you'll have 365 different songs to choose from. And make a cool diverse portfolio. Even 30 songs are enough, and you'll have much more than that. Next, you shouldn't spend a lot of time on mixing or learning how to mix. In my previous videos about music production, I've mentioned that first and foremost you should pick your instruments and create professional sound. Ideally, you don't need to do a lot of mixing after that. Just an equalizer and a compressor would be enough. Your main task is to find music samples that already sound so good that you don't even need to tweak them afterward. Just add balance, use a limiter, and that's it. If you spend too much time on mixing, you'll be losing your production potential trying to mask bad quality music with sound engineering. So instead of mixing, you should spend your time recording and producing music. You can leave sound engineering for professional. We'll be happy to do it for you. Mixing engineers are not that expensive actually, and that's not something you should be doing yourself. Once you make a name for yourself, you can delegate this work to professionals and simply do what you're good at. A good producer earns from $1,000 to $3,000 and up to $10,000 if you're really talented, while mixing engineers cost around $300 to $500. So you can save a lot of time and money if you simply do your job and let professionals do the rest. All the music producers I've worked with hire sound engineers to do the mixing, apart from some really talented individuals who are good at both things. The next advice I want to give you is to never work for free or for royalties or collaborations. You should value your talent, time, and resources from the very first days of music production. Yes, you may work for a low fee at first, but don't do it for free. Make it a rule to work for a fee plus royalties. Otherwise, you'll end up working with people who don't value you as a professional. They may try to bargain with you and say that you'll get paid later via royalties or that they want to exchange services. Just don't buy it, because these promises are going nowhere. Don't let people use you like this, even if you have an imposter syndrome or you're a beginner. Music production is a huge multi-billion-dollar industry, so you will get paid either way. If you can't find people who are willing to pay for your services, then simply create music and work on your portfolio. You can later offer these demos to artists as solutions to their songs, but only on condition that you tweak them to match their tracks. This way, you can create a cool portfolio, but don't give away your tracks for free or just for royalties. You should also start blogging. These days, music producers are just like celebrities and have the same publicity as artists. In a way, artists act as brand ambassadors and performers, while music producers are the people who actually create the hits. All successful music producers I know run their professional brand blogs, so you'll have to deal with this sooner or later. If you start right now, it will save you both time and money, and you'll get the level of publicity you need much faster. Just act like an artist, record how you work and what you do during the day. Mark Zuckerberg once said that after the year 2030, all social media will turn into 24/7 live streaming of our everyday lives. You can start by shooting short reels and then record longer videos a few times a week based on the ideas that went viral. You should become a celebrity yourself. This way you will attract people with money who will come to you themselves. Treat yourself as an artist equal and not just some staff member. The next point I want to mention is health. Good health is what sets a successful music producer apart from the rest. Health is the fundamental element that will allow you to build a successful career as a music producer. I've talked about it in the video about health, but I still want to mention just how important it is to stay active. Walk at least 10,000 steps per day, eat unprocessed foods along with lean meats, eggs, fruits, vegetables, and raw dairy, and do sports. You know all these things, just don't ignore them. If you want to make a name for yourself and be successful in your life, your health is the first thing you should work on. When you have more energy, you can try more ideas, test more things, and ultimately become better than everyone else. Another key element to becoming successful is experimenting from the very first day of your music producer career. You should look for original sound that will set you apart from the rest of professionals. Many producers copy famous hits, and that's one way of doing things. Still, you need to have your own signature style so that people will instantly recognize you. In my practice, the most successful producers are easily recognizable by their own style of music. Once you put on their tracks, you can immediately understand that this sound was produced by that person and not someone else. You should strive to become a trendsetter yourself so that other people want to become like you and copy your sound. Even when you're only starting, having a unique sound may help you become recognizable faster. So don't just copy other people's music styles and do everything you can to develop your own. Next, you shouldn't spend all your time at home. Try to go out and socialize as much as you can. You need a community to share ideas and simply to go out and have some fun. This will help you maintain your mental health. You should also build your own network, and not just to find new projects and jobs, but to stay connected to people who are interested in the same things as you. This is also one of the fastest ways to find friends and make a name for yourself. I've seen it so many times. A person comes from abroad and starts hanging out and talking to other people in the music community. And before you know it, they're already popular and know all the big guys in the industry. Whereas local people who have been living there for years doing nothing didn't move forward this fast. So you need to become a part of the community. This is where all the projects and all the music magic is happening. Networking allows you to combine two important things: your mental health and finding cool projects to work on. The last thing I want to mention is that you should be consistent in everything you do. You should be stubborn and persistent when building your career as a music producer. Always stay confident and never doubt yourself, because if you do all these things I've mentioned and you never stop, there's not a single chance that you won't become successful at some point. The only question is when exactly that'll happen. You may have no orders for a long time and you may be having close to no money left, but then, bam, it's like an explosion and things start happening rapidly. Your main task is not to give up before that breakthrough finally happens. That's why you should work no matter what, without a plan B. This way you simply won't have any other choice but to succeed. Believe me, it'll happen sooner or later. That's it. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to get our latest updates.